In this video, you'll find out the hidden connection between Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer that no one is talking about, and also the real reason why swordsmiths wear masks. So strap in for today. I've assorted 18 of the most incredible facts about Demon Slayer that you probably didn't know. If you haven't caught up to at least the third season of Demon Slayer, the Swordsmith Village, then spoiler alert. I've said so much random facts about Demon Slayers that sometimes I forget about the demons, but not this time, I got you covered. In Kimetsu Academy, beyond doing just fake marriages, Doma is a scam artist in various ways. He is famous to the point where he gets covered in a special news program on TV. He's also been involved in several incidents. But because evidence is insufficient, he's yet to be prosecuted. After greeting a woman with pink and green hair, he went missing afterward. Earlier at the crime scene, the voices of a man and woman fighting were overheard saying, "I had a feeling you were lying." One can only speculate as to what happened to him. Well, how about another former Hashira? Kane's surname is composed of the Kaien Yomi reading of kanji for butterfly. Kane's given name is spelled with 3 katakana characters, which are different from Shinobu, her biological sister, and is more similar to how Kanao's name is spelled. Sakonji resembles the real-life swordsman Miyamoto Musashi. Like Sakonji, Musashi lived out his twilight years meditating in remote mountains. He described his dueling style in a memoir titled Book of Water, and most damningly, Musashi also had a long line of prodigies who met unfortunate ends before he himself passed away. Speaking of a delinquent, Inosuke appears to enjoy eating tempura, as shown when he rests at the Wisteria Mansion and when he uses it as motivation during his training. Many of us were hyped to see the new season of Demon Slayer, and we weren't disappointed, especially with the anime taking up where we left off in season 2 with the defeat of the upper rank 6. But did you know that when Akaza was summoned to the Infinity Castle, the entire sequence of him traveling through the castle was all an anime exclusive scene? That's right, none of it was in the manga. Instead, he just suddenly appeared in front of the Biwa demon. Pretty cool to see the studio keeping up with the awesome quality that we all know and love. Demon Slayer is a big fan on foreshadowing, and Studio Ufotable did shoehorn in some details that many anime onlys wouldn't even notice. And it's this area in the Infinity Castle. Now, I won't spoil it for you, but this area becomes very important later on in the series, and I can tell you it's one of the hypest seasons that everyone who's read the manga is looking forward to. Many have pointed out that Demon Slayer loves to stick to a certain theme, and when it comes on to the openings, and season 3 isn't any different. You see, each season's opening features Tanjiro and whom he will be traveling with, mainly the Hashira he'll be paired with. Season 1's opening featured himself, the Mugen Train featured Kyojiro, the Entertainment District featured Uzui, and the Swordsmith Village featured Muichiro, the Mist Hashira, and Mitsuri, the Love Hashira. I saw where many people have been saying that the masks in the Swordsmith Village were compared to Urokodaki's mask, when in fact the only connection between them is that they are masks and they originate in Japan, but that's it. You see, the masks in the Swordsmith Village are called Hyotoko, and they are comical Japanese characters portrayed in an unusual way, with the mouth puckered to one side. The word Hyotoko is made up of the kanji for both fire and man, simply because the masks look as if it's a character blowing fire with a bamboo pipe. It's very fitting because of the Swordsmith Village and their relation to fire, making Nichirin blades for demon slayers. Somewhere along the lines, they adapted the culture of wearing these masks to conceal their identity as a way to protect themselves. After all, if demons find them, it's all over. With any Demon Slayers opening, this season is riddled with Easter eggs and nod to characters that will be prominent in this season. For the Swordsmith Village, we see both Mitsuri Kanroji, the Love Hashira, and Muichiro Tokito, the Mist Hashira, as they engage with Tanjiro and the gang in an epic all-out fight with demons. Within the first few frames of the opening, we actually get a look in their past lives, just a little bit before cutting away. We see a young Muichiro talking to someone who apparently is dressed like him, and Mitsuri in a kimono before getting her sword and heading out. And there are plenty of more Easter eggs like this, so stay tuned. Another Easter egg that can be found within the opening of the Swordsmith Village is the sparring fight between Muichiro and Yorichi Type 0. During a quick few frames, Muichiro's sword breaks. The main reason this is highlighted is because simply within the manga, it never showed his sword being broken. It was only said, and then he took a sword from Yorichi instead. Ufotable has always been meticulous when it comes on to making sure the continuity level is kept up to a maximum. Also, in Kimetsu Academy, Zenitsu is a morals officer who ended up on the committee despite not wanting to be. He does uniform checks every day by the school gate while being terrified of delinquents. Poor guy. Speaking of Zenitsu, he loves sweet and expensive foods, more specifically high high quality eel, more commonly known as kabayaki. So if he didn't become a swordsman, he would probably be a bit on the chubby side. So one thing that's been a double-edged sword for Tanjiro in both the anime and real world is his empathy bags are so big that he cries every time he hears a sad demon backstory. But that's simply because he can understand what it means to be turned into a man-eating monster against your will, because his sister is one and he knows that Muzan preys on the weakness of people so he can use them to kill others. Can you really fault him for understanding this? At least he does get the job done, right? Or maybe he does get the job done, but one thing I know for sure will do him in is his inability to lie. You see, whenever Tanjiro lies, he can't keep a normal face, even if it's a lie for the better good of the mission, which is hilarious but dangerous and could get him killed. This is why we knew he was telling the truth when he said that Zenitsu was strong. Tanjiro's Nichirin blade actually appears in one of Jujutsu Kaisen's manga panels. And this goes into the theme of Jujutsu Kaisen always dropping some big hits like Dragon Ball Z and Lord of the Rings. Funny enough, when the button is pressed on the sword, you hear Tanjiro's voice shout out his breathing form. Pretty dope, right? I want one. There is one fact that I'll spoil. All the Hashira are currently subscribed to Varistudiostv, and they're doing tryouts. So if you don't want to miss out on your chance to become a powerful Hashira yourself, hit that subscribe button with notifications on. Another thing that I noticed is that in Kimitsu Academy, Genya is a first-year student belonging to class Kabosu. He is the shooting club's ace, and despite his hair-breaking school rules, they allowed him to keep it since he wouldn't be able to score a bullseye with a shaved head. This is because he uses his hair to read the movement of the wind. It seems that Genya is shy around women, breaking out into a blush and losing the capability to speak with them. This is seen when he was interacting with the love Hashira, Mitsuri, and the younger girls who worked at the Butterfly Mansion. Despite his rough exterior, he's a pretty cool guy. For some reason, we always see Demon Slayer hinting at this mysterious swordsman, and he is even in the opening in 2 scenes that hint at his importance in the series, one of which is easy to spot while the other is only a few frames. For the first one, we see the swordsman standing at the forefront, behind him a few unknown people, and then the camera pans out and we start to see a pattern forming, with that of the previous Hashira, then the current Hashira, meaning that they were all Demon Slayers, which the scene ends with Tanjiro turning. Now the other one is when Tanjiro activates the Hinokami, and just for a few frames we see this very swordsman imprinted on it. Manga readers already know what this means, but the anime onlys will have to wait a little while. This one comes from the outro of Demon Slayer's 3rd season, rather than in the beginning, and more hints at a certain Hashira's life. This time we focus on Mitsuri. Within this particular scene we see 2 versions of her, one with black hair and her dressed in a kimono, and the other pink hair in her Demon Slayer uniform. This is definitely a foreshadow for her own history, and it's pretty amazing to see. There is a second part of this within the opening showing someone walking away from her, while the ending showing herself running away from herself, as this would foreshadow her past and now. Don't worry, I won't spoil that part for you. Want to learn more amazing facts to level up your Demon Slayer knowledge? Click on one of the 2 videos on your screen right now, or join me again for the next Demon Slayer video. Peace out, stay safe out there.